cities in Florida and Texas, they're ready to capitalize on the financial exodus out of New York City. Madison Allworth with us this morning. Is this exodus really happening, Madison?
Hey, good morning, Stu. So folks in Florida are hesitant to call it a full-blown exodus. But yes, there has been an uptick in firms and employees moving to no income tax states. In fact, more financial service jobs are leaving New York City than are being created in this financial capital of the world. And business titans like White House crypto czar David Sacks say more moves will be coming thanks to tighter regulation, rent freezes, and expanded city-run services under New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. The promise of higher taxes in California, his state, have actually pushed him to open an office for Craft Ventures in Texas and move himself there. The labor force is growing in places like Dallas, home to Y'all Street, and shrinking in Silicon Valley.
Look, I could see where San Francisco is shrinking in residents. On a real, like, if you go to San Francisco, the first time ever when I went to San Francisco, this was probably, I would say, probably in 2023. And I've been living in Florida all my life except for where I'm living right now. And I've never been to the West Coast until 2023. Believe it or not, never been to the West Coast. And the first time that I went to California, I went to LA and then drove up to San Jose. Now, the first time I went in San Francisco, I was culture shocked, y'all, to see the amount of people that are actually living on top of each other. Like, it's crazy to see that. Like, and I'm talking about me being elevated on this mountain. I was going down and I'm looking over, I'm like, look at all those houses on top of each other, like no space, straight up sardine can living, y'all. Crazy.
This is also why Florida doesn't necessarily view New York as its competition.
Any state that has no state tax on personal income is going to be viewed as a competitor. And I would say that Texas is probably our biggest competition. But one area where we outshine all states is in our quality of life, the amenities and the beauty of the Palm Beach area.
The average age in Palm Beach has moved down from 65 years old to roughly 39 years old over the last few years. But they're not taking New York's crown as the city of opportunity just yet. Manhattan office data still shows a strong New York. In 2025, the city logged 313 new leases above $100 per square foot. That is much higher than 2024. And companies like JP Morgan, they also just opened a $3 billion, 60-story global headquarters just down the street from where I sit right now. But with all that being said, JP Morgan now employs more people in Texas than in New York. So a shift is happening, Stu.
Age in Palm Beach has gone from 65 to 39. That is a stunner. Madison, great stuff. Thanks very much. See you again soon.
That is definitely a stunner because, you know, years ago when you mentioned when people are saying they're moving to Florida, the first thing they think about is old people. Old people moving to Florida, and they say what? That's the Lord's living room. Like, you go down, you go in the living room, and from the living room, you're going into the casket. And, you know, it's one of those things, even me being from Florida, I've lived in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. And I remember when West Palm Beach was straight up old folks, yo. And it's just weird how things just change like over time. But, you know, this is definitely an eye-opening situation. Now, concerning New York, I feel like, Mamdani, saying he's gonna, tax the big businesses. I think what Mamdani, I need to say his name right, Mamdani need to do is learn from what's happening over there in Chicago. Taxing big corporations, it's not gonna help. Look at what happened to California. They moved out, went to Austin, Texas, and went down there in Miami, Florida. Speaking of California, let's head over to Cali for a second.
New report from U-Haul shows that more people moved out of California in 2025 than any other state. Max Gordon joins us. Okay, Max, you've got the U-Haul. Where are people going?
Hey, Stu. Well, the folks here at U-Haul say that affordability is one of the main reasons that Californians are packing up U-Hauls like this and hitting the road. And we asked the people at U-Haul, where are all the drivers going? Take a listen.
They're moving to more of the neighboring cities, states like Arizona, Nevada, Oregon. That's kind of where they're moving to. And when it's time to buy a house and you want to purchase something for your family, you want to look at what you are able to afford and what's meaningful.
The top states where U-Haul is seeing the most one-way traffic in includes Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, and South Carolina. This is the 7th time Texas has been the #1 growth state in the past 10 years.
And check it out, y'all. These are all southern states. These are all southern states. The southern states are being populated heavy.
The states at the bottom for growth, where U-Haul is seeing the most movers leaving, include Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and then at the very bottom, California.
And they're leaving the big city states because, of course, Chicago is in Illinois. Illinois is one of those states as well. You got California, so many big cities in California, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts. You got Boston, Massachusetts over there. But we're moving to the South because of what? Cost of living. And what's going to happen when you move to the South? Cost of living goes up. And when they move to the southern states, these affordable states, what's going to happen is they're going to drive up the economical landscape of those states. And that's where the problem lies. I remember when I was living in Miami back in the day, you know, you could afford anything in Miami. Now it's just out of control. Everything is expensive. And I'm talking about super expensive because, you know, everybody want to go down to Miami and live the luxury life and do luxury things and this and that. And that drove up prices on everything. So when these people are moving to the South, because of course, their economical structure is a little bit different and, you know, they make more money. You know, the minimum wage is much higher in these places and they go to the South. They're coming with, you know, long pockets down there. So they can afford, you know, housing. So when these developers are coming down here to the South, I live in the South, by the way, and they're coming and they're saying, okay, you know what, we're going to, you know, build these houses and we're going to put these price ranges between $500,000 to $700,000. Let's use those numbers for context. You know, people in New York and New Jersey, they're going to be like, man, that's cheap because they're used to paying $1 million for these houses that are selling for $400,000 or $500,000 in the South. And not just where I am, but other places in the South where developers are like, well, if people are paying for this, we're just gonna keep pushing the prices up. Now, this is one of the issues that I have. If you're a Democrat moving from these states because, you know, the cost of living is too high and you move to a Republican state, why are you going there to vote Democrat? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why are you moving to a Republican state, a conservative state, to vote Democrat? You're pretty much voting for the same type of people who believe in the same type of policies that got you packing up and leaving the states that you're moving from.